And welcome everyone to the Riverside County Board Brief as we give you a brief look at what took place during today's Riverside County Board of Supervisors meeting. My name is Pep Fernandez. We start off with a couple significant items on the agenda involving the Housing and Workforce Solutions Department. Supervisor Exton Gutierrez giving them special recognition for the good work that they're doing here in Riverside County. Check it out.
It's the Starting Over program from the Housing Workforce Solutions, and it's to offer rapid rehousing and also outreach services to those folks that are homeless. And I think it's just important for members of the public, also on TV, just to know some of the great things that I think the Board of Supervisors are doing and approving today at today's meeting. The other item I also want to highlight is 3.15, which allocates about $2 million to transitional housing for youth. And I think that's very important. We know that 53% of our foster care youth graduate high school, and about 1/3 of them will face mental illness, and those are some of the major driving factors to homelessness. So I think it's a great thing that our Housing Workforce Solutions Department is putting that forward.
And that was Supervisor Gutierrez. Now joining us here on the board brief, Deputy Director from Housing and Workforce Solutions, Tanya Torno. And Tanya, let's circle back to 3.8 rental assistance. What exactly was this item on the agenda today?
Yes, this item is awarding Starting Over, one of the community-based organizations that we partner with, $330,000 to provide rental assistance to 24 individuals and their family members throughout the entire county. And it also supports an outreach effort, which will allow their team to drive out into the community and direct people who are experiencing homelessness on the street with services.
That's very good, going out to them where they are. You mentioned it. It's probably worth mentioning again the fact that this is, I know Supervisor Gutierrez was the one to highlight it, but this is for all 5 districts in the county, correct?
That is correct. We're really excited that Starting Over has taken up the challenge of servicing the entire district, and that means that they will be again, driving directly in those communities, but also taking direct referrals from our Home Connect hotline, which is, a 1-800 number where anyone who is experiencing homelessness can call and be directly linked, or have somebody come out and meet them wherever they're at to begin the process of housing.
Mm-hmm. What a great resource. Tanya, we really appreciate the time. Thank you very much. We're also going to talk more housing and workforce solutions. Come on in, Mike Walsh, another Deputy Director, because again, there was a lot of stuff on the agenda today and all very worthwhile, so we wanted to make sure we had the spotlight on a couple of these. Mike, let's talk about now, this is going to be 3.9 that was on the agenda today, involving, we've talked a lot about ARPA funds and more ARPA funds going to benefit a community out in the desert, right?
Yeah, today the board approved $6.7 million going to the Palm Communities Palm Villas that develop 241 units of affordable housing. We're so grateful to the county leadership, Supervisor Perez, Jeff Van Wagenen, and others for this. We're really leaders throughout the entire state, entire country, on how we're utilizing ARPA to spur the development of affordable housing.
Yes, the American Rescue Plan Act funds. Mike, when we look countywide, how many units are in production right now? I know there's a lot of construction going on, correct?
We were so great. Like about 5 years ago, we had like less than 500 units under construction. Right now, there are over 1,800 units under construction countywide, with more than 9,700 units in a long-term pipeline. We have 1,000 units set to start construction over the next 6 months. We're really grateful to the support of our local cities as well as the county leadership on how to make these things move forward.
And specifically, Mike, finally, the project out in Palm Desert, when do you think they'll break ground and start construction on that?
They still have to apply for low-income housing tax credits, but ideally they will be starting construction in the fall of this year and then under construction 2 years thereafter that. So we're excited to get it started.
All right, Mike, appreciate the time.
Thanks,
Thank you very much. That was Mike Walsh, also from Housing and Workforce Solutions. Now, as we move on to the next thing here on the board brief, it circles back to housing again. Let's talk about the Oasis Mobile Home Park. We have some video that we shot just recently of the mobile home park out there in the Coachella Valley. Now, today was the approval of a memorandum of understanding, and it would prevent more people from moving into the Oasis Mobile Home Park once residents actually move out. Supervisor V. Manuel Perez out there in the 4th District talking more about that, as well as Deputy Director Greg Rodriguez.
I think we've made some major inroads and I'm hoping that this is something obviously that we've been looking forward to. But we still have a ways to go, but nonetheless, though, I thought that it'd be important for us to really highlight this MOU, which will help us with enforcement efforts at the Torres Martinez Oasis Mobile Home Park.
We're basically utilizing the MOU to enforce people from not moving in through current ordinances that we have on the books, through code and building and safety, and through TLMA. Once we relocate individuals, if the unit is going to remain, we'll demolish that unit and then establish either fencing or K-rail. Those details will be worked out. So next steps basically are to work with TLMA in the process of how we go about that enforcement.
Right, a big thanks to Supervisor Perez and Greg Rodriguez there talking more about the Oasis Mobile Home Park. And finally here on the board brief, we're just about a week away from, or a week out from the point in time count. It was last Wednesday. Let's take a look at some video from the point in time count. And now that we're a week away from it, we can kind of look back and analyze some of the results from that, because once the numbers are calculated, that's when Riverside County can analyze that data and best serve the folks out there experiencing homelessness across the county and the services that they could offer. We had Supervisor Spiegel and Supervisor V. Manuel Perez talking about the point in time count and just basically saying a big thank you to the more than 1,000 volunteers that were spread across Riverside County to make sure that all those experiencing homelessness were counted.
Piggyback on Supervisor Spiegel's point on the point in time count, just so that folks know, we had over 1,000 volunteers who got up that morning. I showed up at 6, others showed up at 5, but I was
there at 5.
but I did make it, and that was in Indio, California, where I was, and I actually did a few interviews there as well. And 28 cities of Riverside County were involved, and just want to thank county staff for participating and for organizing the point in time count.
Yeah, a lot of folks involved across the county and also our local community partners. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Riverside County Board Brief. My name is Pep Fernandez, and we'll see you next time.